it's easy to get excited for an 8-1 win. It's easy to get excited for a 5-0. It's easy to get excited for games where you have so many goals and chances. But this Sundowns team just wins. They're just consistent. Most goals in the league by far. They're scoring over 2 goals a game. Our Reyners, Ribeiro, Matthews, Salesh, all of those players have more than 10 goal involvements each. Quietly. Mamelodi Sundowns won this game in second gear. Do you know how hard it is? Just think about the team that you love. How hard is it for you to get a 2-0 win? How much anxiety goes into your 1-0 up and you're still playing the other team, then you have to score the second goal. Meanwhile, this Mamelodi Sundowns team is in gear 2 and they're winning 2-0 nje. Please soak it in. Cape Town City looked great for 10 to 15 minutes, where in the beginning of the first half they were just going and going and going and going. But what's crazy? Sundowns goes 1-0 up. You look at the halftime stats and you realize that, Cape Town City was just running around. They didn't even have a shot, let alone run on target. That is scary. That Mamelodi Sundowns can play these games and win 2-0 without having to worry about anything else. The scariness of them playing 24 games, they've got 20 wins, 1 draw and 3 losses. They've got the least goals conceded, the most goals scored by far. And it doesn't look like they need to use any bit of their quality or all of their quality to go and win these games. When they're playing versus Cape Town City, for those who don't know, Cape Town City is in the playoff spot. Now, the playoff promotional spot. Luckily, Royal AM, but they're number 15. When you play against the team in relegation, they're usually fighting for their lives. And when you watched that first 10 minutes, you saw an Amato fighting for his life. You saw Rhodes fighting for his life. You saw Makaringe playing some football that he hasn't played up to this point. You saw all of that, and it meant nothing. That is the mark of a truly incredible championship team. And that is what Mamelodi Sundowns has built. Because, by the way, don't forget that they made subs where they could just bring in Adams and Zwane from the bench. And what's also incredible is the growth. That Reyners that played today is not the Reyners that we know. That Reyners that played that through pass inside the box onto a runner is not the Reyners is not the speed merchant from Stellenbosch. And that highlights another thing about Mamelodi Sundowns. How many teams are making players better? How many teams are making players change how they play? And it's not everybody. I know you can point to the Masegos. I know you can point to all of those people. But for the most part, this team is not only buying the best guys, but the guys who are there are getting so much better. The fact that you can have a quiet game and Matthews has a goal. Reyners has an assist. Reyners has a goal. Salesh has an assist. And when you tally them all up and you're like, these guys, goal and assist wise, goal involvement wise, have been insane. To think about Reyners, who was Manqoba Mngithi's player, who comes into this team playing a specific way. RMR, he was for pace, he was for power, he was for balls in behind, he was for that type of play. When coaches changed, he was out in the cold for a little bit. To see him come back and he's different, that is crazy. And Sundowns really showed that they're the groot man here. They are the big team, the most important team, because they didn't even sweat. Okay, so I know I stopped the video a lot, and a lot of you are wondering, why are you asking for money? So I wanted to show you. I asked for money because I want to do more of this. Huh? But the truth of the matter is that it took over an hour in order just to render that shot. And it takes even longer when I'm doing my normal content because, guys, here's the unsung hero of the channel. And unfortunately, Shem, wazama, but the screen is broken. I have to use a second screen and the performance is not up to it. So I'd really love to upgrade things like that. And when you look over here, this is what the setup looks like. Rehenga di patlo and rehenga di green screen, which is a reality of being a South African content creator. Also, this is what people think is my studio. It's actually my house. So if you still don't know that I'm doing all of this from my home, then I don't know. But that is essentially what I want to do. More of these cool things. But I need you guys to please help me out by donating 50 Rand or more into this account. You know, we're fighting for multi-choice. And for multi-choice, but there is subscription models all over the place. And I'd love to give the biggest quality while also being able to pay my rent and do things like that. That is where your money is going. And I promise to give you only the best content that I can if you do throw something in. So I just wanted to show you guys what I want to do with your money. I want to take this South African football and fulfill my dream of taking it into the future. But thank you guys so much. Remember, this is the bank account that you deposit into. Get back into the video. They didn't even sweat in this game. And for me, that is the scariest thing. I will always say, Pirates is the most dangerous team in the league. In that Pirates, a 1-0 score can go to 5-0 very quickly. But with Pirates, they might show up 5-0 today, they might lose 2-0 the following day, they might throw 0-0, they're very inconsistent in what they're doing. Think about just the past few weeks. But the team that I'm scared of in the league the most is Sundowns, because they're silent killers. 1-0, 2-0, 2-0, 2-0, 3-0, 2-0, 2-0. By the time you look up, they've walked the league 24 games into the league, 6 games left. They now just need 2 wins to win, unless also Pirates messes up. But they need 2 wins in order to walk the league again. Oh, by the way, for the 8th time in a row. We didn't even see the other trophy go anywhere else. And the Betway is going there first. This team is incredible. And if teams are going to fight, it must be a hard fight. If teams are going to fight, it's going to take a lot of investment. It's going to take a lot of structure. It's going to take a lot of planning. It's going to take a lot of execution to catch up to this team. That is how crazy this is. Now, let's go into the game. For all of the great play that Sundowns had, I think there were there was one or two glaring issues. I think Umoran on the right-hand side was pushing too far up, and when pushing that far up, it created a space where you needed Kekana to go cover him, and I think Cape Town City in the beginning did well to try and stretch that defense and take them wide and try to take advantage of them from those areas, right? You look at them and you think, okay, it was a plan that made sense, right? Cool. There was also the issue of the gap between the midfield and the defense, because Cape Town City again was finding the spaces out wide, but also centrally when they were playing the balls back in, it felt as though there was always an extra Cape Town City player that was running inside, because the defense or the guys who are meant to be defensive mids were not quite there. It felt as though there was a back 4 and a front 8, and the front 8 was pretty much given free roles to do whatever they wanted to do going forward. So that was a little bit of a worry for Mamelodi Sundowns, even though they did see it out very well. I think up front, some of the players got a little bit too arrogant, I would say, in the game, in that they were holding on to the ball too much. They weren't passing at the right times. Or there was one where Allender took a slap shot even though he had runners. There was a couple with Reyners where maybe a better pass gives you a better outcome and you score a lot more goals. So there were some things. When you look at Cape Town City, I think they need to decide what they want to play. Are you a transitioning wide playing team, or are you a wait for the ball to get played? There was a ball I saw where Williams had the ball at the back. They weren't pressing. They just sat back. But Williams was still able to play a long diagonal ball into a corner, beating the right back who was not in position, and that gave Sundowns a couple of attacks that were going directly in. So they need to work on their defensive shape, which is weird because according to the starting lineup, they were playing a back five. It's also funny to watch Cape Town City because it doesn't seem like they have that much control of games, even though when you look at their bench, you've got a Mukocho there, you've got a Khuraman there, you've got a couple of players in a Domingo who can maybe come together with a Notata, Amato. Amato's the 18-year-old destroyer, what a player. But you've got enough players there to be playing a lot more controlled and a lot better. You can't be sitting with a team that has Keat, that has Godinho, that has Nyama, that has Makaringa, that has Notata Rhodes, that has Domingo, Mukocho, Hudeman. You can't be sitting with a team that has that type of talent, but you have 14 losses. So they're going to have to look into that. I do think that, luckily for them, they do go to promotional playoffs, and promotional playoffs usually lean better or lean unfairly almost towards the team that comes from the PSL. So I doubt they will go down that way, but they should thank their lucky stars that Royal AM is Royal AM right now. Yeah, what an incredible team Mamelodi Sundowns is, man. What an incredible team. Geez. It's the ease at which they did it that's shocking me. It's that, it's one thing to have an off game and then the other team is pushing. But even the other team is not finding, I think they finished 1 shot on target, 4 shots in total. That is insane. That you control possession, you score your goals, 2 or 3, your 2 goals, you take your chances, you suffocate the other team. And it almost felt like Sundowns just needed to wait a little bit, wait it out a little bit, and then, once your first wave is gone, which is something that I spoke about in the Chiefs game. Once your first wave is gone, what's your next plan? What are you going to do? Because it seems that Sundowns just waits, lets you tire yourself out. You've tried all your tricks. They haven't worked. And when they step into gear 2, gear 3, and it gets to Boma 60, 70 minutes, the other team is dead. Cape Town City wasn't doing anything. And we've seen that so many times throughout this season. Sundowns is just miles ahead of everybody. And I'd like to give credit to Coach Caruso, somebody who was questioned for him coming in, somebody who is still questioned right now, even with what he's done up to this point. I know there was a portion Gamangoba, there was a portion Rulani that also need to be acknowledged. But him coming in and they're breaking records. It's insane. Sundowns, incredible team. I'll see you guys on the next one.